Cyber Spider back again in the kitchen with another tasty video for you. Today we are going to be making a very simple, easy recipe for a single serving of rice pudding. Yes, put those leftovers to use and to have a nice, satisfying, creamy dessert. It's so good. I love it. And it is very, very, very simple. Recently, I had been experimenting with a dish that needed rice, and I had a whole bunch left over, and I was like, can we make something with this? And yes, we can. And it doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of effort. It's actually quite simple. In fact, we're going to be using the microwave. And aside from the rice, a couple of other ingredients, and we're good to go. So, without further ado, let's get started. Hello again. Alright, so I have my ingredients all laid out and set to go. By the way, the list of ingredients will be in the description box as per usual. So, first things first, you are going to need some rice. We're going to be using cooked rice. And actually, truth be told, this is not leftover in a sense because I made this rice specifically for this video. So let me just get an additional spoon right here. And so you're going to need 1 cup of cooked rice. And previously, when I had made this dish, the rice that I had used, it was already a day or two old, and I didn't have any issue whatsoever. This is pretty fresh. I made this earlier today, and my ratio was a cup of rice and a cup of water in my rice cooker, and it came out just fine. You know, I know that some people, they add more or less. I would say that this is a medium to a long grain rice. I know that there's a million different varieties and breeds out there, if you will. So about 1 cup of rice, and going to need a microwave safe bowl or oversized mug. Just pop that right in there. There we go. Okay. Get this back on there. Don't want it to dry out. There we go. Okay, then in container number 2, going to need approximately 1/3 of a cup of half and half. Don't need terribly much. Now, if you have regular milk, I would suggest perhaps add in a little bit, just a touch of heavy cream if you have it. Me, I always have half and half because it is what I use for my coffee, always. Then, to the half and half, gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar, just regular white granulated sugar, and you could always add more or less depending upon how sweet you want it. This I find actually works out really, quite nicely as far as the amount of sweet that I like. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract, give or take. There we are. And just a pinch of salt. Just using regular table salt here, just a little pinch. And last but not least, a sprinkling of cinnamon. And of course, this is to taste. And of course, you could always add more later if you need to. And then give this a good mix. Would probably be better if I actually whisked it, but you know. Okay, and then, then add this to my rice. Okay. And mix this up a bit. You want to make sure that the rice is nice and coated and that you don't have any big clumps of rice. Break that stuff up. All right. Now, last part, going to pop this into the microwave. Now, very much like if you were to melt chocolate in the microwave, the last thing that you want to do is put this in for several minutes. No, you want nice, slow, steady bursts. You know, and it's going to take approximately about maybe 2 to 3 minutes or so, roughly speaking. But I am going to put it in for 30-second bursts on high, and then each time I take it out, give it a stir, put it in for another 30 seconds, give it a stir, another 30 seconds, and I'm going to do that several times, and this will thicken up because the starch from the rice and the milk will do their thing. It will thicken up, very much like oatmeal. And I know that this is not completely conventional like your typical rice pudding because there's no egg in here, but it is delish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this into the microwave a couple of times and you'll see how it will get thick. So give me a moment. I'm going to pop it into the microwave and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I went with the 30-second bursts in the microwave, and it was at about the 3-minute mark, 30-second burst, 30-second burst. And after I had done this, for about 3 minutes worth, it did cook over the side of my bowl. So I was able to salvage some. So keep a close eye on what it is that you're cooking, because yes, it does happen. But yeah, I would do the 30-second burst, I would stir, 30-second burst, stir, and it will start to, foam and bubble a little bit. And, I would do my stirring and stuff, but yes, it did spill over a little bit. So just, so that you're aware that yes, it does happen. And so this is the finished result. I put a little bit more cinnamon on top, and I can't wait to try this. So as far as it being rice pudding, now, yes, there are recipes for this that involve using egg and so forth. This is all about simplicity and it tasting good and using up your leftovers. And I would say to me, it's sort of like the consistency of oatmeal, but instead of oats, it's rice. But this, I think, is a lot more tasty. So, bon appetit. Mmm. Mmm. It's rich, it's creamy, it's sweet, but not, oh my God, my teeth are going to fall out sweet. This will not put a hummingbird into a diabetic coma. No. This is just the right amount of sweet. And it's warm, it's comfort food, it's very heartening, and it's still hot, in case you couldn't tell. And what also is really comforting is that it is so easy, and it's using up leftovers, and you can make a single serving. You don't have to make this huge batch, you know. And it only took me a couple minutes, really. You know, very, very simple. And I have to keep eating more because I love this stuff. So delish. Now, aside from it cooking over, you know, in my instance, you know, aside from that, absolutely delightful. You know, I mentioned the cooking over because yes, things can happen, and I want to, you know, perhaps avoid that happening to you. So it's something to be aware of. But other than that, no, it is totally worth making. It is delish. It is easy, and it's a nice little sweet treat, you know, for one person. You know, of course, you can, you know, make more for other people. You know, you don't have to just have it yourself. But anywho, I'm rambling, I know. You know, I get that way when I get hungry. So listen, have you tried something like this before? If you have, what was your experience? I mean, you know, did you add anything different? I mean, of course, if you want to like add raisins or nuts or maybe even some chocolate chips, ooh, that sounds delish. You know, what did you do that was the same or different? You know, what are your experiences? What were your results? You know, always interested in your constructive criticism and feedback and suggestions for potentially, you know, other recipes that I can try out. Yeah, so that being said, until next time, you know what to do, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay cooking fabulous, tasty things in the kitchen, and stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other. Make them a bowl of rice pudding, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day, everybody, and bye for now.